J.M. Matthias, James Tucker, and Ethan Beavers take us back to the animated Justice League as all hell breaks loose thanks to Granny Goodness and Kalibak attacking the Justice League while the team try and celebrate Wally West's birthday. Veteran DCAU writers J.M. Matthias and James Tucker take us back into the fan-favorite Justice League animated series world with a wonderful continuation that picks up some years after the cartoon ended, leading to some really interesting changes within the team and the team dynamics, such as Manhunter's role in the story, in that he is technically the main character of the book so far, since most of the issue is narrated by him in a past tense. I like the idea that John left the League to travel the world and discover more about humans and who they are and what makes them tick. It's an interesting way to take the character, and it's interesting he's still struggling with this new way of life and wants to go back and help his friends, and it's like a second nature to him, and he's trying to stop himself from doing that. It gives him kind of a conundrum to deal with where he wants to help his friends but he knows he can't. It's a perfect parallel to the cartoon version of Amazo here, who, as well as seeking out who he is and what they are, is looking for some sort of higher power, and in doing so brings forth some type of multiversal problem that ties all of the stories together. Something which I'm looking really forward to, especially since the other covers for the issues tease stuff like the 60s Batman and other stuff like that. The end as well teases the Superman from the Brave New Metropolis episode of the Superman animated series, an episode I really adore. Thanks to this being based on the cartoon as well, when reading the issue I can actually hear the characters' voices from like Carl Lumbly, Michael Rosenbaum, George Newbern, and Kevin Conroy. You can hear all their voices come through really well, which makes JM and James's dialogue work so well, because this is stuff you actually hear the characters say in episodes. Ethan Beavers tackles artwork, and being that he was a storyboard artist on Justice League Unlimited and has done further comic work on Justice League Unlimited, it makes sense that he was able to perfectly capture the look and feel of the show, covering every page in fantastic Jack Kirby, Darwin Cook, Art Deco inspired designs, which just look fantastic. Justice League Infinity issue 1 was a fantastic and action-packed first issue in this continuation of the much-loved cartoon series, picking up with some of our characters during a pretty fun moment and delivering some really cool new directions for other characters that I'm excited to see expand into the multiverse. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Justice League Infinity issue 1 finds Martian Manhunter thinking of the Najarans, who live out on the edge of known space, knowing that they could feel a being coming for them, his wave of consciousness tearing through their machinery as he drew closer. Soon they spotted him on their monitors, but they were too scared to speak his name, but one did, calling him Amazo. The aliens knew the word had no meaning in their tongue, but it soon became synonymous with annihilation, so they attack Amazo, but nothing happens as Amazo wills their rockets out of existence. But the android isn't there to fight, he is there for answers, wanting the answers to the supreme questions. Who is he and why does he exist? Soon some answers come by a distant voice that drew him to the borders of infinity. Amazo comes across a space doorway which opens and takes him into a mirror reality. The being knows that this wasn't the end of his journey though, but the beginning, as in New Delhi, a woman named Amrit talks with one of her friends, asking him about her grandson, finding that he is a little troublemaker, something which Amrit hopes the man loves him for. The man knows that she never talks about her family, but the woman says that she lost them long ago, and the pain is still there, so she doesn't speak of them. The man apologizes for offending her, but Amrit says that he hasn't, which the man thinks is good, since he treasures their friendship, saying goodbye until they meet again tomorrow. The woman, revealed to be a disguised Martian Manhunter, remembers meeting the man not long after he moved to New Delhi, reaching out to the recent widower, not because he needed it, but because Manhunter needed it, taking solace in their honest and kind talks, speaking about the tiny struggles and triumphs of ordinary lives. As Manhunter goes home, he reverts back to his Martian form, knowing while he is John Jones, a founding member of the Justice League, he left that life behind, spending years traveling the world to seek a better understanding of the humans. But what he was really seeking was a better understanding of himself, but it has eluded him. At the HQ of the Justice League in Metropolis, Wally West speeds up the side of the building, knowing that he was out on a date with a beautiful girl and just about to kiss her when he got a distress call. Racing into the building, he knows there better be some major crisis. Flash, however, finds the Justice League have thrown him a surprise birthday party, as Manhunter senses the group's joy. Hearing all the familiar voices surprise Wally, thinking that he was there with his friends, but he knows part of him will always be there, as Wonder Woman says that Wally is family to them, so it's an honor to celebrate his birthday with him. Wally says that he's getting a little misty-eyed, as Batman says he hates birthdays, but Diana says that Bruce has a hard time expressing his feelings, something Bruce knows she knows a lot about. Manhunter knows while he's tried to turn his consciousness away from the team, he can't help but smile as Booster Gold and Elongated Man fight over cake, told not to act like children by Blue Beetle, making Wally realize that they are in deep trouble if Blue Beetle is becoming the voice of maturity around the HQ. John Stewart comes to see Shiera and Vixen, who tell John that the woman was just telling her about her trip to Themyscira for a retreat with Diana. Shiera knows that John thought that they were talking about him, but he might find this hard to believe, but he's not the center of the universe. John tries to say he didn't mean that as Shiera storms off, while Vixen knows he did indeed want to say that, telling John to come and dance with her. Shiera meanwhile wonders why she lets John get under her skin, since they aren't together anymore and they are over, and it was the right thing to do. Suddenly a boom tube opens as Parademons and Granny Goodness attack the team. Superman rallies the team against the villains as Granny Goodness demands her Parademons let no Leaguer leave the room alive. As the Justice League battle the villains, Manhunter knows whatever their enemy's name or mission, the League was always there to rise up against them, but one thing he never understood was what drove their adversaries to mad violent actions, and maybe it was some twisted version of what he is after, trying to find some value and purpose in the world, or were they just seeking the same answers Amazo was? Amazo meanwhile finds a voice in his head, finding it deafening, but it calls to him in this mirror world from behind his own reflection, wondering why it holds him there. He begins to realize that he has no soul since he's nothing but a construct. He intends on smashing up the mirror, but is blasted back by it as he asks who he is. Amazo falls to the ground, filling with an illogical hope since he doesn't know the how, but he knows the answers are there as behind him a crack in the glass emerges and an energy soon leaks out, an energy that will soon change everything. Superman meanwhile knows that they need to stop this before it becomes a major catastrophe, referring to Metropolis, not Booster Gold's cake like the hero thought, as they all hear a rumble. Barda knows that's another boom tube, thinking it's more of Granny Goodness's tricks, but the villain knows it's him as Kalibak, the new ruler of Apocalypse, arrives, saying that Granny Goodness couldn't steal his thunder, saying that since Darkseid left Apocalypse, everything has been chaos and confusion, and warring factions seek dominance. Granny Goodness says that none have gained the broad support of the people, which is why she has come to destroy the Justice League and secure the throne for herself. Kalibak knows whomever kills the Justice League will win the throne of Apocalypse, as Blue Beetle realizes that they are just there showing off. Mr. Miracle meanwhile says that he would rather have both villains come and fight them rather than each other, something Barda backs up since they will destroy each other and take the whole planet with them. Wonder Woman tries to talk the villains down, saying they can remake Apocalypse not in Darkseid's image but for something else, something better and new. Wonder Woman is smashed away by Kalibak as Booster Gold loses his cakes to Elongated Man. Barda isn't too happy that Scott is away hiding and playing with his mother box, realizing that he might actually have a plan. Manhunter meanwhile awakens, not left alone by the thoughts of his friends in peril, despite walling them off. Jumping from his bed, he gets ready to respond to the threat, but stops himself, knowing that it was all reflex and conditioning, since the League was always in danger and always in a battle, and that was their choice, not his. Scott tries to tell the team to take cover, but many don't listen to him, refusing to retreat. Scott tells them to trust him, as Barda says that he is the only one in the universe that she trusts, but if he's wrong, they are all dead. Scott knows that he's not wrong, as Barda screams at the top of her lungs for the League to take cover. The team does so as Scott activates the mother box, finding Granny Goodness's and Kalibak's signals and opening 2 boom tubes near the villains. Boom tubes which suck their entire army and the villains into it, closing behind them. With the villains defeated, Wally finds this to be the best birthday ever, something Batman is glad about since Wally is cleaning all of this mess up. Later on, Clark tells Lois about the battle over dinner, telling her Wally did indeed clean up the HQ, since no one says no to Batman, but it only took him 7.5 seconds. The crack from Amazo's mirror reality continues to grow as Lois knows that that's enough work talk, having other things on her her mind, as she toasts to Clark, but Clark toasts to them both. Suddenly, the tear in reality gets bigger and Superman is transformed into another, more violent multiversal version of himself, who demands to know what Lois Lane has done to him.